Hello. We're back like every Sunday with The Outer Worlds, the DLC, Peril on Gorgon. I hope you've had a great week and I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Um, I'm looking forward to continuing playing this. Um, I was actually so desperate for something like this game earlier that I started or resumed playing Fallout 4. So, um, no, it was, like I like Fallout 4, but it's depressing and gray, which, is intentional. So, that's just something they want as part of the atmosphere of the game. But of course, it's much more pleasant to play this game, or at least slightly more. It's not really a very happy game, but it is there. And it is at least more colorful. So, um, yeah, I played around in Fallout 4 a little bit and discovered a new location and am now hunting to find a very interesting companion I had read about. But in this game, in the Outer Worlds, which we're playing on stream, oh, there's a sentry saber stuck in a sentry. That's a bit ironic. Is there any... Oh, armor parts. Definitely want those. Anyway. Oh, hi Ada. How's it going? Alright, yeah, we arrived in the Office of Creative Incubation earlier. I think we had some turrets or something shooting at us. I don't remember whether there was... No, I think it was actually fairly peaceful. I think I just saw the targets up there in my compass and went, these will shoot at us. But I think these sentries had already been damaged by the time we arrived last time. Alright, so let's see how we can continue here. Story-wise, this seemed like the only location we could continue. So there's that at least. Oh, always pick up the ammo. You never know when you will need it. And I mean, in this game, you need ammo quite often and quite soon. Ah, a door that can be opened. All right. What's around here? More ammo. They're giving us a lot of ammo here. I mean, I'm not playing on the hardest difficulty, so they're always fairly generous with ammo and stuff. But yeah, it's still a little what did I want to say? It's still a little disconcerting when you walk around here and they're giving you lots and lots of ammo, and you go like, there shouldn't really be ammo in these places. Oh, executive bathroom, I guess. Why is there a water jug inside the loo? Jesus. Hello? Where's the flush? Okay. I guess there is no flush. Ugh. That was disgusting. Not quite unexpected. I mean, it was a bathroom after all. But seriously. I think we've already triggered.
Keep your aim steady and your trigger finger at the ready. Adrena time brings out the hero in you.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take Adrena time.
Alright. Seems to be...
Proudly located in the bloodstream of the entire Spacers' chosen tossball team. Adrena time, putting the performance in performance-enhancing drugs.
I'm pretty sure our companions last time made a backhanded off to the side comment about this, going like, well, they're still not good.
Don't let sleep rob you of your life. Cut your resting hours in half and double your productivity with Adrena time.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take Adrena.
Okay, those stairs lead upwards. And here I thought the entryway to our, the person who called us to go here was fancy. With the lights, you know, like, I think that was the lights that they had over there in the kitchen. Those ceiling lights here. I went like, ooh, that's fancy. And here, like, oh, they're everywhere. Like, half the ceiling is like dozens of these lights. And then they top it by going like, hey, let's do one that kind of curls upwards here. It's very quiet. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but basically this player piano plays the Space's Choice theme. But also the music is kind of overpowering the player piano. Oh, that looks more engine room wise. Employer rights under the Biased Labor Standards Act. Wage determined by merit of your work. Overtime may result in higher pay if the quality of said work is considered exemplary. That's just... I still love those. It's so horrific, and it's just, you know, it's posted everywhere. It's normal here. But it's still so close to what we're doing. Like, you know, with unpaid internships and, like, certain jobs that actually say overtime is not, compensated. And you just, you know, like, go, yeah, here they even, you know, like, they call it, I mean, that's the heavy hand of the author, calling it the Biased Labor Standards Act, which in our world, you know, biased would be considered something bad usually. You want everyone to be equal. And so them saying here, Biased Labor Standards Act shows you what a different world this is. And, you know, hammers it home for people from our world. Your employer has the right to dock your pay should you damage any facilities or equipment. It is your responsibility, not your employer's, to avoid workplace hazards. Yeah, that's also, you know, that's, yeah, every employer today would like well, I wouldn't say every employer would like it, but you know, that would make things a lot easier if that was normal in our world. So I guess that's the generator or something. It looks kind of like a turbine or something, although, you know, like, where would the water flow be and why would they use that here? Wouldn't water, you know, be rare enough to not use it? And that looks... oh, that doesn't look healthy. Someone back there is quite deeply asleep, apparently. Do, 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 do. Oh, we can take away a flywheel. Okay.
I'll keep it down.
Oh, is that a model of the asteroid base? So the question is... or is that Edgewater? No, I think the asteroid rock on the bottom... those arches kind of make me think that might be the factory in Edgewater. I'm also slightly wondering here, if you remember, you know, how games usually work, they have, you know, different resolution models. So for objects that are far away, they use a version that has a lot less detail. So this stair might just have like the rings and the bars and not like the fine patterns. Or if it has the fine patterns in the, you know, in that railings grating, then, you know, they're just like flat surfaces with a transparent texture. So it's not actually a 3D object that needs to be rendered, and like a very tiny one, but rather just like a surface where, you know, they basically peel over a sticker, which has, you know, cutouts. And so now I'm wondering, is this model here on the table, is that actually just the distant model for this base? Or is it, you know, something else? My guess, usually, you know, at best, they go and take the existing model, the existing, you know, distant model that's smaller, and do another pass over it. Because, of course, I guess the texture detail and things like that would be too low. So at the least, they'd have to pick close-up textures. And, you know, and it has to look like a model. So it's probably a little clunkier. But, you know, they might save themselves some work by picking up a few, by basing it on the distant model that they've already hand-tweaked. Champion tossball stick. Perfect game. That kind of looks like it might be standard trooper helmet, light machine gun Mark III. I'm not sure I'll ever equip it. Oh, and we can't get at all those guns. Oh. Apparently the middle mouse button lets me select a weapon from a wheel. The first time I noticed that. Energy canister. Ooh. Do 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 do. I like that the companions, when they follow you, actually crouch and not just, you know, like... And that they follow you and not just teleport behind you or something. I mean, I guess, you know, if I, you know, did this... You know, it would look ridiculous if they just popped up behind me or something. Or, you know, like, waited for me to turn around to follow me or something. It would be confusing, especially if you're trying to, you know, micromanage them, getting them to follow you. So, I guess they probably had to account for that. I have the Space's Choice theme stuck in my head now. Do 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 do. Oh, it's just a little too tall, but they're kind of teasing me with loot behind there. There seems to be a weapon and stuff. Do I have a map? Yes, I do. Okay, so those are stairs. There's a lot of blockage there. I'm not sure if this is already the floor with the mechanized death. This all looks with the vending machine over there and things like that. It looks like spots I'm supposed to arrive at later. Oh, there's something moving behind there. Oh. Of course, they place loot here. Huh. These guards. Marauder, berserker.
Nice one! Woo, that had to hurt!
Whoops. Felix.
That's working, boss!
Where's the other one? Oh, back there. Okay.
I was just getting started.
Bit disappointed that this Marauder Colossus doesn't give any loot. It's always so disappointing, especially if it's a big guy that took a lot of work, you know. I mean, I understand it. I don't really need loot right now. You know, like, I have enough stuff. My pockets end up always being full.
Ooh, what'd you find?
So... Also, it's really nice that every terminal we come by has a bypass shunt lying nearby. Kind of like, oh, there's a computer, you might need to hack it. Don't neatly... Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, I want all the loot, but, technically, I'm not actually using all the shit I'm collecting. And, so I shouldn't be disappointed that he has none. And, as a game designer, it's probably easier to say, hey, there's a little bit less loot let's do these in order so we don't forget one. There's a little bit less loot. You know, like, or only this one of the enemies has the loot, or only the last one, or something like that. You know, just so you, just so, you know, because they can't, like, endlessly give you loot, then kind of it would lose its value to the game. Or you would end up, you know, having to constantly repair your gear or something to warrant them giving you all those materials that you need. You'd be oversaturated. Yeah, exactly that. And that's basically but I'm still, you know, like, they train you to go and look for all the loot, and so especially if it's a big enemy that took you a while to take down, or, you know, like, the usual enemies you just shoot up at, you know, 3 shots and they fall. And this one you actually shoot at, and your companions go like, that's not helping in any way. And then you go, oh, I need the other rifle. You know, and so you actually have to apply some strategy. Ooh. So, you know, as a kind of reward for that, it feels kind of weird when you then don't get you don't get any loot from that enemy. On the other hand, you know, I guess you could justify it with story reasons by saying something like, you know, like, yeah, he has the other guys to carry stuff for him. Or it could even be something technical. Like, even if stuff doesn't show up as an inventory item, like the experience you get from killing an enemy or something, what they can do is they can, you know, basically use the same mechanism that they use for dropping loot to also drop experience. And so to the game developer, you know, all of these might have a little item with them, and it's just that the big guy has the item, you know, 1000 extra experience or something like that. And so if you then shoot him, you cannot explicitly loot anything because just the process of triggering the loot gave you the experience. In Minecraft, XP is also an item that can be stored in a bottle and sold. Yeah, see, that's where the game mechanic, I guess, shows through. I guess that's unintentional? Or is that... like, I guess they, you know, like, could have retroactively made it a feature. But if you look at... you think it's intentional. Okay, yeah, because, like, if you... sorry, I bumped the microphone there. If you look at, you know, games like MMOs or whatever, usually you have, like, a certain bunch of mechanisms that you just need. Like, you kind of have, you know, like, you have some email-like mechanism that, you know, MMOs actually also use that mechanism for the in-game mail. That's why so many MMOs have that. But the important part here is that you have a mechanism that lets you deliver something, not a text message necessarily, it might be a mission reward, for instance, which is why, you know, games let you email stuff, you know, items between characters and things like that. And so they have this mechanism that lets you send something to a character, and this item doesn't go away until the player has actually opened it and taken out the item. You know, and it's guaranteed that either the email is there containing the item, or the player has received the item. So, like with a bank account, you know, where you can't just withdraw the money from one account and then, you know, the computer crashes and it's never deposited on the other account. Rather, you know, what they do is have a very complicated mechanism, well, not very complicated, but like well thought through mechanism that ensures that either the item is still considered on the original account or on the receiving account, and that there's, you know, that the system cannot forget to withdraw from the source account once the money is on the destination account, or vice versa. So, and how that usually is done is by basically creating an entry for the withdrawal and one for the deposit on the other account, and combining them into one item. And then having like one tiny switch somewhere that decides whether the state before or after this transaction is correct. It's hard to explain that in general terms, but like in a data structure, basically that's how it works. Anyway, and so since you have all those mechanisms, you can you know, you have a guarantee that the items arrive, and they also went, we can also use that to get email between players to someone or something like that. And one of the mechanisms you have is just generally inventory, you know, associate an item. Instead of making 2 steps, start doing it and finish doing it, it's has it been done, yes, no. Yeah, basically that's it. And so if it crashes, there is a record of I prepared a transfer that withdraws money from A and deposits it on B, but there is no entry, this has actually been done, and so that's the same as the money has never been transferred. Yeah, basically. It's a little hard because, you know, it's kind of an Ouroboros, you know, like a snake that bites itself into its own tail, you know, and eats itself, because you have the problem, if it's not safe to have a message that says this money has been transferred, or this money has been withdrawn and this money has been deposited, then how would it be any safer to have a switch that says, has this now been done? And it's part of it is basically just reducing the risk. Like, if you actually write the numbers, then, you know, that takes more, like a larger entry, whereas the switch is kind of a smaller entry. So part of it is just like preventing or reducing the likelihood of a crash not writing in an entire entry. So it's kind of like that. It's transactions is what it's usually called. But anyway, why I went on this route is that, like, one of the systems that most games have is the inventory. And the thing is that what you see as the inventory is only a part of that. So there is other inventory, or, you know, generally items associated with a certain NPC or player character or companion. And so here it could well be that experience is just an item. And so I thought, maybe that Minecraft case, that could have been that they did it the same way, because it, ensures that the loot is dropped or the experience is given, and you don't need to have a new system to set up an enemy and then and define which enemy gives you how much XP, which, I'm sure some games do that. They just go and have a special, slot, special property of each companion that just says, experience this companion gives. Or often it's just a multiplier. But you might as well make it an item. Thank you for using Jimsy or Gimsy. Oh no, I promised I'd say Jimsy, because after all, it's Georgian internal messaging system interface, right? It's like GIF, which is the graphics interchange format, because it's important to be able to exchange giraffes. I know, Omnomborus, the snail that goes into its house to bite its own tail indoors with a snack and a hot chocolate. Yes, exactly. I love that head canon. Okay, a friendly reminder, your messages are company property. Unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or deletion of Jimsy content may result in early termination of your employment contract. Please select from the following options. So Mr. Mostly again, which was I think he was a higher up. On the latest test results from Human Inquiry with some additional commentary. Mr. Lawrence Goodfellow, fortuitously, I have had the opportunity to review the latest test results from Human Inquiry. I agree with your and the committee's general assessment that these test results are unacceptable. The latest experimental sample of adrenatime demonstrates a 15 out of 17 possible symptoms in my rubric of dangerous, lethal, or otherwise high-risk side effects. I have sent a full report to your desk, the abstract of which is as follows. Adrenatime in its current state fails to meet this project's standards. By my calculations, Adrenatime users trade short-term improvements in productivity for long-term losses in productivity. Specifically, dead workers are unproductive workers. So the question is, do they care? I'm excited about the answer. Whenever a calculation produces an unforeseen result, it is prudent to take a look at one's numbers. Incorrect numbers lead to flawed calculations. If the HIA's calculations are sound, then their numbers, that is to say the drugs provided by chem labs, must be flawed. Your esteemed colleague, Mr. Clarence Mostly. Okay, so I guess they are kind of trying to pass the blame to the oversight committee, saying like, oh no, you're just exaggerating it. Whereas the chem labs, and now they are saying, well, you made the mistake, we're just counting them. Again from Mostly to Goodfellow. Further analysis on the fundamental problem undermining our operations with additional suggestions. Mr. Lawrence Goodfellow, I have not yet received your correspondence regarding my previous letter. I can only assume you are still, to deploy a parochial colloquialism, chewing over my commentary. I have several additional insights, which I have collated into an itemized list and sent to your secretary. Here is my summary. I believe the root of the problem lies in the chem lab. As I mentioned in my previous letter, incorrect numbers lead to flawed calculations. The problem must therefore be found in Dr. Jesper Lowe and its stewardship of the chem lab. Dr. Lowe is a notoriously lackadaisical and careless manager, and, pardon my language, a poor scientist. ChemLab must provide HIA with a safe, high-quality, carefully refined drug with which to conduct tests. This slapdash, artless, high-risk formula ChemLabs has been delivering to HIA can only result in unacceptable test results. I understand that safety and high quality development are often antithetical to the corporate strategy of space's choice, but in my life I have found that the perspective of an outsider can be helpful. Awaiting your response, Mr. Clarence Mosley. Alright, that's okay, that seems like it's all very, which makes sense. It's all very hard and cold. I mean, um, they had tests that apparently drove people crazy or something like that. Um, at least that's our suspicion from seeing the attackers out there that are kind of feral, I think is a better term. Um, so yeah, but he seems to be, very, he doesn't really seem shocked or anything. He just says, well, you're inefficient and please be better. Mr. Lawrence Goodfellow, your response to my previous two letters are conspicuous by their absence. Responses. Based on my analysis of your personality type, dietary habits, patterns of speech, and mode of dress, I must conclude with reasonably certainty that your silence stems from trepidation and anxiety. If I might presume to offer you some advice cultivated after years of living in Byzantium, may I suggest that your anxiety stems merely from ignorance? Ignorance is the easiest of vices to rectify and requires only learning and heeding the advice of one's betters. I just can't, like he's basically this is, like, um when you're developing software and someone comes to you and says, "Can you just, not write bugs into the software? Can you just be, maybe more careful so you won't make bugs?" But that's not how it works. And like, even when you are careful, there are things that, you misunderstand about the problem, or, just distractions that occur in an office or whatever. Um, and these things just cause bugs, basically. Um, and all you can do is kind of try to be as careful as you can. Um, but, if then someone who doesn't know how software development works tells you, well, can you just not make the car drive over someone when it's, remote, what is it called? Autonomous driving. And you go like, do you know what that entails? First, the car would have to recognize that this is someone and not a lamppost, which is usually the biggest problem. And, you cannot mark lampposts, or even if you did, if it got dirty, then you would not see the markings. Just said not drive over someone to true. Yes, exactly. And so this writing here feels, like total armchair chemistry. And he says heeding the advice of one's betters. So he obviously thinks, the person in Byzantium is much more advanced and worth, um, of being listened to than some chemist that spent decades studying and practicing chemistry, out there on an asteroid named Gorgon. The success and failure of any project depends on the readiness of its constituent staff to perform their mandated duties. Scientists perform experiments. Researchers research. Managers manage. When one of these roles acts outside of its limitations, chaos is introduced into the system. So he wants, like, some independent manager to come and manage the chemistry instead of a chemist who actually knows what is possible and what not. Take heart, you need not fear the burden of management. The secret of good leadership is strong oversight combined with careful, fastidious, numerically driven, and scientifically supported management. The turbulence experienced by this project is emphatically not the fault of the OCI. However, it is the role and duty of the OCI to fix these problems. Ours is the only department capable of righting the ship of innovation in the waters of chaos. With paternal affection, Mr. Clarence Mosley. Yeah, what a waste of air. Or should we say mostly an idiot. Department of Strategic Branding. M. Kumara. Have we heard that name before? It doesn't ring a bell. I just remember mostly because it's such a, mostly strange name. Sorry. From OCI Cerebral Committee. Subject unacceptable results. The OCI Cerebral Committee has hereby decided by unanimous vote that the recent test results from human inquiry and auditing are unacceptable, untenable, and unsatisfactory. This message is an informal expression of our dissatisfaction, which will be formally declared by memorandum in the near future. While the committee recognizes the marketing potential of insomnia and chemical dependency, the marketing potential of chemical dependency and insomnia. I mean, it's not really that that it keeps you awake and alert. It actually just, prevents you from sleeping, apparently. The remaining side effects described in HIA's latest report are incompatible with the OCI's vision of the Adrenatime product. Corporate auditors will expect to see a product that dramatically improves the long-term productivity of Space's Choice workers by reducing the need for rest and mitigating the effects of long-term melancholia. The product delivered to HIA induces psychosis, violent behavior, paranoia, and, alarmingly, disobedience. The OCI cannot accept a product that transforms long-term users into dissidents. The damage to our corporate image will be inevitably benefit our rivals at Anticleo. It's really, it's very consistently written. It's not subtle, but they have the voice of a completely inhumane corporation down pat. And so now, good fellow Lawrence. Relax. To my colleagues in the OCI Cerebral Committee, I share your concerns, but not your alarm. In times like these, I encourage you to recall a passage from our Space's Choice user manual. The failures of subordinates must never become the failures of leadership. I like that it's called SCUM. Space's Choice user manual. The meaning is simplicity itself. HIA has failed to deliver acceptable results because they have failed to perform their professional obligations. My esteemed colleagues, you and I possess a number of law-given qualifications, but we have not been relegated to lab coat work. Let me reiterate, we are not test tube jockeys, we are leaders. HIA's purpose is to deliver test results. Our purpose is to deliver a quarterly report. I'd like you to reach out to Miriam Kumara at Strategic Branding. Have her team clean up HIA's report. Trim the fat and tuck in its guts. Make it look presentable for our auditors. Like, the start looks kind of like, oh yeah, passing the blame to the underlings, which, is the sign of a bad boss. Usually the boss, like what is called kicking punching upwards, not kicking downwards. Where basically, your boss's job is not to keep you in line as much as, to represent you to the higher ups, and kind of insulate you from things that happen there, maybe. And of course, I mean, if you're totally out of line, then your boss will do that. Will, like, point that out to you. But like a good boss's, a good boss is always one who fights alongside his employees and not against them. And here, at first, it kind of sounds like, well, he's punching down. He's basically saying the chemists are delivering stuff wrongly. And he doesn't even, and I like that it's this silo mentality that huge companies sometimes have. Like Microsoft for a while was known for basically departments torpedoing each other because the company structure kind of, put them against each other. And so if you wanted your budget and wanted to be able to do what, your department was doing, then you kind of had to look better than someone else. And that ended up in going, well, if I help you solve your problem, then, that will make me look a little better and make me spend some of my budget, maybe even on, solving your problems. So that's not in my interest, because then my bottom line looks worse to save yours. And you got yourself into that trouble the first time. Things like that was a story, I think, like in the 90s. I think it was Microsoft. I hope I didn't mix that up with IBM. And so at first it sounds like it's just that. But then you look at the last paragraph, and basically he says, let's just fudge the numbers in the report. I have a marketing person that will do that for you. What? And that's, that's bad, because that means you're shipping a bad product and the entire company eventually suffers. Cerebral Committee. Data presentability and empirical hygiene. Cerebral Committee. My team and I have finished reviewing HIA's latest experimental report. We believe the failure of this report is manifest in its flagrant disregard for company-approved language. To that end, we have drafted a revised report edited with language consistent with the Spacer's Choice company vision. The HIA's original report mentions clear evidence of dangerous side effects associated with using the Adrenatime product, including but not limited to paranoia, violent confusion, chemical dependence, and dissident-adjacent behavior. We propose the following connotative revisions. Dangerous side effects. Exciting collateral benefits. Paranoia. Dramatically heightened attention. Violent confusion. Physically assertive behavior. Chemical dependence. Metabolic compatibility. Dissident-adjacent behavior. Any mention of dissident behavior in this report may encourage dissidence. Recommend cutting this phrase entirely out of respect for our readers. It's basically the stick your head into the ground solution. Great. What if I don't like this? Wait, was there another one? Did I miss one? No. Those were all. But okay, so that explains why everything went wrong here, and then Adrenatime went to market after all. Effective enough. Triclosan. Does anyone know what triclosan? It sounds like some not quite healthy additive. It sounds like I've heard it before, like it was in, like, is that like, you know, the stuff that makes, you know, plastic soft? Why are they preparing sprats in their kitchen? I guess that might be the Marauders. Oh, and that's Mostly's terminal, apparently. So the first one wasn't Mostly's? Status. Turret status active. Hallway status secure. Dissident threat minimal. Hack 40. Reverse intruder definitions. Happily. Intruder database successfully redefined. Okay, cool. So that means the bots that we saw here, the red ones, should not attack us. It's interesting that we've basically been like we've had the opportunity to use Adrena Time. I don't think I actually use it. Or maybe I tried it out once at the start or something. But really... Oh, that's the maintenance room mentioned earlier. Cool. So that's the room that Lucky said he had the key to. Let's sell some junk.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take Adrena time.
Find the admin terminal in the office. Alright. This is just an empty container. But there's a ladder going up here. Okay. Just in case switching the intruder detection around was wrong. But this explains why he wanted access to this maintenance.
Hey, can you imagine watching Terror on Monarch in this place?
Anyway, I think I was talking about something, as I am wont to do here. But I guess I forgot what it was about. Trying to... Oh, what's this?
About your test subjects. I assume you're trying new formulations on humans, correct? Where do they come from, Dr. Ambrose? They come from Tartarus, don't they?
They do?
Why the reluctance? Providing life-affirming employment to the indigent, the criminally indigent? Well, that's a social good, don't you agree?
I have a staff meeting to attend. Excuse me.
Okay, so they're experimenting on prisoners. Okay, so we can proceed upstairs, but I think I'll just take a quick trip downstairs just to see what else is there.
Guess you get what you pay for with Spacer's Choice guards, too.
When those marauders cross them off.
Okay, that's where we came in, yes. So now we're on the other side of that blockade, where the other vending machine was. I wonder if we made it easier for the marauders as well now. I mean, I doubt this system can tell us from a marauder, the security system. Alright, that's the only place we can go. Let's see. Okay, that's a marauder. Now that we know that...
Love a good brawl!
Down they go! I got another fighting me.
Alright, that was good work, companions. Unsanctioned mining gear. Fascinating. Oh, did I ever empty the cash registers downstairs? There's a bit cartridge in there. I like that you actually see the bit cartridge sticking out of the slot, and if you take the money, it will actually give you the cartridge, like remove the cartridge. I wonder if you can put one back. Oh no, you can't, because you don't have bit cartridges. It just all goes into your riches, into your how much money do you have? Triclosan is antibacterial stuff in toothpaste, but possibly unhealthy. Okay, so then maybe... Oh god! Do you remember in the base game, they said something about them trying to make toothpaste from... Was it of some of the aggressive animals or something? They were trying to make toothpaste, and what was the side effect? I think people stopped eating as much? Weight loss toothpaste, yeah. And I'm just thinking, like, if these two things are connected. If the weight loss toothpaste project basically became the Hail Mary for, but probably not, because they let us decide who to give it to, and I think we just said, oh, we didn't find it. Because I didn't want, corporations to basically make employees starve. So, probably not. Instructions. Inebriation procedure and protocol. Mandated by OCI's Cerebral Committee. Feeling lethargic after a long day of creative incubation? Having trouble shooting down the bird of inspiration? Let Spacer's Choice help you steady your aim. A selection of company-approved libations are available for purchase. Medicate your creative paralysis with Spacer's Choice Zero G Brew. Addendum, all purchases will be deducted from your pay. Spacer's Choice Zero G Brew, official slogan to be decided. So basically they're saying you have to be drunk to work here. Department of Creative Inebriation. Heck, open last entry. Ooh. Visitor logs. Campos, Lavinia. Trouble deciding on a font for new department letterhead. Ordered 10 G brew. Oh, so the Department of Creative Inebriation is the bar? Because we're behind the bar here after all. Wyatt, Lewis. Wrote 12 good words today, but can't figure out what order they should be in. Ordered 30 G brew. Deacon North. Brainstorming ideas for a new flavor of Saltuna. Ordered 10 G brew. Lavinia Campos again. Still having trouble deciding on a font. Ordered 30 G brews. Not saying that that seems like a very closely observed problem with graphic designers, but you know, the right font can make or break a poster or something. So not pointing fingers at anyone, especially in this world. I don't know what all the junk is. Pardon our dust, renovations in progress. I completely forgot that this is, like, I saw this and I kind of saw, yeah, it looks like a bar. But, you know, then I just went past and went, oh, a computer, maybe secret data at the company. But no, it's just the cantina or something. Oh.
Alright, let's dance!
Get on!
Yeah! That's what you get! Coming.
Yeah.
Can't get past that armor!
I don't think you're getting through!
Ooh. That worked. Might have set him a little bit on fire there. Also might have been very concentrated and not talked during this fight. Bad streamer. No cookie. Well, actually the cookies is usually what the viewers get. Worst. Adreno. Oh, yes please. A mod, that's good. Pulse Hammer and Adrena time. Why am I even picking up Adrena time? I know what it does to people. Basically, drives them into psychosis due to lack of sleep. It's interesting that they set up tents inside this building. Whoops. I mean, it's kind of... Drug drone. Oh, I guess that's why they're here, trying to find interesting drugs. But so since Adrena Time is being sold all throughout the game, my guess is that the Marauders think, okay, Adrena Time came from here, or maybe there's some other chemicals that are useful, and buying them and going feral, whereas the version of Adrena Time that is being sold over the galaxy has been modified. And so basically we're dealing with sort of counterfeit Adrena Time. But then, you know, why is the Adrena Time we get here, we find here on anyone, why is it not specially marked? Security notice. Notice, by order of Lawrence Goodfellow, auditorium projector room must remain sealed until further notice. Please answer any inquiries by visiting auditors with the following pre-approved message. Mr. Goodfellow is excited to inform you that our projector room is undergoing upgrades in preparation for a grand quarterly report presentation. We thank you for your patience. Please return to the reception desk and request a complimentary bottle of zero-G brew. So I guess they're trying to make audits harder? On auditing. Dear Sir and or Madam, if you are reading this memo, you are the designated concierge of this auditorium. Please commit the following message to your memory when guiding auditors along a tour of our office. What is an auditorium? Spacer's Choice Manual of Definitions describes an auditorium as a place where auditing takes place. Here you will enjoy all the familiar low-cost, budget-friendly amenities that make Spacer's Choice the leading brand in affordable entertainment. Satisfy your posture in our semi-reclining chairs, enjoy a moderately cold bottle of zero-G brew, relax as you enjoy this special presentation of the Project Gorgon Quarterly Review, brought to you by the Office of Creative Incubation. So basically, auditors don't get to walk around the place and audit stuff, but actually just get to sit in a cinema, get a marketing presentation, and kind of get bribed with, you know, cold beverages and comfortable seating. That, I guess it's not that far from how audits sometimes happen, where you wonder, like, did anyone ever audit it? Well, not really. Like, they're, a very popular thing, for example, is self-certification, where basically companies charge a lot of money for creating a standard and, for example, like, connections or whatever in your computer. And then the manufacturers that make devices according to that standard get a book with that standard in it, and then get told, okay, check that you match this standard, and send us a letter that confirms that you match this standard, and then you can put our logo on the box. And so, of course, if someone misunderstands the standard, then they will say, oh yeah, we totally match the standard, even if they technically don't. And so they might create incompatible products, things like that, or might even just make mistakes, and actually miss an item in the self-certification or whatever. And it doesn't really get cross-checked. Basically someone just goes over it, and I mean, sometimes there's software involved where it's basically you point this software at the device you built, and that software talks to you, and if that works, then you're certified. Like, for example, that's how Java certification worked. Like, Sun had dedicated software that it gave to, for example, Microsoft when they made their JavaScript that famously was incompatible, or not JavaScript, Java implementation, where they actually had a lawsuit in the end saying, here, you cannot call this Java because it doesn't pass these tests here that we make everyone else pass, and then they had to rename it. Okay, no report this quarter. Everyone, I'm going to be blunt because I want you to understand the gravity of this situation. Someone, or several someones, sabotaged our quarterly reports. They're all gone, irretrievably damaged. The Cerebral Committee's putting their heads together to come up with a solution. We hope to have one before the auditors arrive. In the meantime, here's what I need you all to do. Do not, under any circumstances, talk about the sabotage to anyone outside our office. 2. We need to soften the language. Studies show that repeated use of the word sabotage can incite sabotage in people who lack moral fiber. I'm not taking any chances. I need you all to come up with an alternate way of describing the sabotage. Something like the incident, but not so obvious. Lawrence Goodfellow, Management. Okay. That's interesting. Is that the... I wonder if that's related... that must be related to the tests. So either the sabotage was actually... Oh, maybe those were the rewritten reports? And someone decided, no, that's too much. We cannot let this go through. And, deleted them. Okay, the streaming PC just told me Windows Defender is happy, so I was distracted there for a second. We've received all your suggestions. After much deliberation, the Cerebral Committee has unanimously voted to refer to the sabotage incident as the incident. The suggestions were so bad. Alright, I'm not quite sure I'm getting all of this yet. I wish we could get up there. Aw. Let's see if there's anything more up here. Apart from, more marauders. And given how much damage I keep taking, I should probably repair all equipped. Alright, and oh, I didn't see that. When you mouse over a weapon, in the top it actually highlights heavy, light, you know, like the ammunition type it uses in the, like in the middle, next to the right of the actual equipped weapons list. That's nice. Just highlights the background. Let's see, what pistols do we have? This one is worse. This one is actually better. What can I sort by? Name, value, weight, value to weight ratio, damage rating. That looks good. 766 bolter pistol 3-0. That's actually... Of course, now I don't have the mods anymore. And this one 492, the perfect game. This one 532. Telescoping staff. Something like that. I think I'll try the... Well, no, wait, if this one... Okay, let's try this one. And, oh, let's see what kinds of ammo. Light, this one uses no ammo. This one uses heavy, and this one uses energy. So I need something that uses heavy ammo. Oh, 1000 DPS. Yes, sir. Okay. Let's see, that should give us some stronger weapons at least. And the science weapon, I guess, stays because science weapons are interesting. Whoops. Ah, okay. Is this where we came in? Oh. I hadn't seen one of these turrets yet. You're not shooting at me. Good. No, I guess this is a spot we haven't been yet. Huh. And there is another rail. Oh, that's the upstairs. We're upstairs now. Okay, yeah, because there were stairs in this room leading up. Yeah, okay, so this was the back entrance where we could have, if we hadn't gone down here, could have avoided encountering these guys. Huh, nice. So I completely missed that there was this hole here. Oop. Where are you?
That was fun.
Alright, gotcha. I like that everyone just leaves their wallets lying around here. It's always a bit of a problem with you know, loot in games. Like, what do you give the player? You don't want to give them, you know, you want to give them useful items, and you want to give them a selection of items, and often you then want them to have the opportunity to actually, you know, recycle some of the alternative items they won't be using, and, you know, give them a currency that they can use in other spots, so they're not carrying like an entire quartermaster's office with them.
Mess with us.
I guess you were... Didn't look like you were on the loo, but maybe shampooing your hair or something. Anyway, and so you usually give them some sort of currency that you can trade in at vendors, so that if you get item X during missions a lot, but the item you use most is item Y, you can actually sell item X at a bit of a loss, and then trade it, you know, buy the item Y that you really need. Hats. Always like hats. Not even sure why I'm looting all this stuff and why I'm not looting some other stuff. Ah, there's the spot we saw earlier with the loot. Tactical shotgun 2 and a bit cartridge. You know, we were jumping and looking over here. Floor 3. Oh, there's actually stairs leading up. This is, yeah, this is the hole in the wall we came through. Did we already loot this? No. Because I know I would have looted the weapon parts, because they're one of the few loot items we constantly use. Is this? I think this is where we've already been. Yep. Okay. Sell junk just to be safe.
Show your boss that you are prime, because you take a Adrena time.
They were really betting a lot on Adrena time here. And I think there were a lot of marauders here who already took apart some of the sentries.
System.
They
Performing.
got the drop on us.
Whoops.
Give me something else! That's the last of him!
Alright, that wasn't quite... I wonder if we could have hacked some... why did I pick that up? I don't really need it. And yes, now I'm over encumbered. Okay. Wait, we had a vending machine downstairs, so just quietly walk of shame, do the loot walk of shame down there. And sell some stuff, preferably by value or weight. Value. How much does this? Oh, this weighs 0, so definitely want this way around. Let's just sell all these armors. Never gonna use them anyway. These. Oh, tech skills would have been good, I guess. Melee weapon. Nice injection suit. Don't know, that looked kind of nice. Oh, I think the pressurized injection suit. Wasn't that the one Lucky had? Let's just sell all the clothing. I don't want it unless it's something I expect to be using. I've collected so much junk. But let's keep the fancy hats. Could probably wear a different one. And let's see here, buyback. Let's see, what was the... Here. Pressurized injection suit uses a series of pressurized... That's all there is. Let's buy that one back. Alright. We're good now. But not all the way up, just here for now. And is there anything interesting here? Illegal commands. Oh, that's DOS terminal. Get caster mount check disk is verifying files. So I guess they have a hard disk issue. Discovered free space marked as allocated in the volume bitmap. I guess one of the developers had a dead hard disk. Oh, that looks like it might be something we can read. OCI Cerebral Committee Minutes. The meeting began with a traditional recitation of a passage from the Space's Choice user manual, followed by regulation roll call. Every member of the Cerebral Committee was present. A motion to implement the revised guidelines on linguistic cleanliness and company-approved language was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to award Mariam Kumara and Lawrence Goodfellow with commendations on their permanent record was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. Okay, so basically they decided to fudge the language of the report and rewarded the people who actually did it. A motion to file a demerit on the permanent records of Dr. Jasper Lowe and Dr. Marion Blakesley was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. Again, the chem team is seen as, they were bad. A motion to redact any record of derelict employees, missing employees, employee desertion, or incidents of workplace violence from official company documents was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. Oh, so I guess some people were already using Adrenatime? I'm not sure I like that. Really not. A motion to dismiss the meeting early was brought to the table by Lawrence Goodfellow in the spirit of conviviality and good humor. The motion was likewise passed unanimously. The Cerebral Committee adjourned for 0G and cigarettes. Yeah, that, well, I guess... Okay, we're upstairs, and we're going through here, I guess. Back to basics. Okay, now I'm curious. What does that look like? Feeling ennui, want to be one of the people? Get back to basics with Jolly Cure. Want to be one of the people? Jesus. What does this look like? Doesn't really fit. But I mean, this would probably fit. Now we really look like one of the people. Or we could wear the Space's Choice. I like that this does a squeak sound. Usually it just does clonk, but if you put this one on or off, it kind of sounds like a squeaky toy. Okay, I guess we'll wear the injection suit for now and see how well it does. What does the hat do? Intimidate +5. Inspiration +5. Leadership skills and persuade +7. I have to say, I find this one prettier. On the other hand, sneak +5 is kind of nice. Oh well, let's leave the hat away. It's not as if we can see it on stream. I still wish they had a third-person view in this game.
No one with an honest job has an office this nice.
Oh. I think down there must be where we arrived. I mean, an office with a bar. Some weapons need to spin up before they are able to fire at their maximum rates. These weapons spin up while aiming or firing. Some nice weapons here, I guess. Oh, well, let's just grab all of these. Another model spaceship. I hope those eventually can show up in our ship. Well, that's Goodfellow's office. Okay. A recurring theme is that there are checks and balances in this system, and something like voting and management and guidelines at every step of the decision process. Someone makes it worse because anything else is too frustrating. Yeah, almost steampunk. You mean the clothes that I picked at the end? Yeah. It kind of has these little, I don't know, valve-like things or something on it, true. Admin functions. Unlock synthesis and manufacturing center. Yes, please. Emergency lockdown. Override lockdown. ChemLab, human inquiry and auditing. Staff directory protocol activated. Please visit Transmission Tower Alpha for staff directory. Okay, so we have to go to the two other places to override the lockdown to get back into this room. Messages. Incoming messages. Ambrose. Oh. Olivia Ambrose. Seize all recordings. High priority. Bring them to me immediately, and for fuck's sakes, don't let the journalists off the fucking asteroid. Oh. Those are from the interview that we're supposed to collect, right? So I guess there really was something. You know, he probably recorded something incriminating. Production schedule. Re. You think you can hide from me, little twerp? I know a serum that will make you feel as if you've lived 1,000 years in just 8 hours. How would you like to spend the night in waste processing? Huh. I don't quite get it. But I guess Olivia Ambrose is really angry with Goodfellow. Toxi-free rebranding. Change the fucking name, Lawrence. I don't care if the inbred simpletons at headquarters were just having a laugh. Customers don't know what it means. You may choose from this list of acceptable alternatives. Absorbitol, Chalatamax, Bindatron, Emeticin. That's... I think Ambrose doesn't really... Like, Emeticin means nothing to me. Bindatron, I guess, binds stuff. Chelate, I've heard that phrase somewhere. But it seems very scientific, so I guess Emeticin and Chalatamax are probably some chemical terms for, you know, binding toxins or something. Exorbital kind of words. But we've had, I think Toxi-Free is one of the things we got, so he didn't heed her message. And Toxi-Free is actually a good name, I think. For something that removes poisoning effects. Outgoing messages. Reproduction schedule. If you are receiving this message, I am currently unavailable. In my absence, I have instructed my secretary, Herbert Harrell, to reply to any incoming messages with his pre-approved response, Vicariously Lawrence. Dr. Ambrose, great timing. I was just sending Herbie over to your department with a preliminary production schedule. As with so much of the work we do at the OCI, the design of a production schedule is more of an art than a science. The timetables and milestones are less contractual obligation and more aspirational cartography. That doesn't sound good if your production schedule is aspirational. Radio documentary participation. Approved. Next time allow me to make this kind of announcement myself, Mr. Mosley. Hierarchy exists for a reason. Subject radio documentary. Mr. Lawrence Goodfellow, many of you may be familiar with Odeon Pictures, Byzantium's premier purveyor of either wave drama and drama adjacent entertainment. Several of my personal associates at Odeon Pictures have launched a satellite studio called Pictureless Pictures, which emphasizes radio programs and serials intended to excite the senses and palpitate the glands. I have received a request to approve a radio documentary program examining the lives and contributions of Space's choice scientists operating on Gorgon. The name of this documentary is Moments with Genius. I do not approve of the superfluous exclamation point, but I approve of the general idea. Please inform the other managers. Lawfully, Mr. Clarence Mosley. So Olivia is really unhappy about this, and the marketing guys let it through anyway. Subject radio documentary. Lawrence, this is a waste of my time. The last thing my team needs is a fleet of gadflies descending on the labs and asking stupid questions. We're months behind as it is. However, because Lucian demanded it, I will consider the program's request if the following conditions are met. Lucian guarantees me the right to review and approve the recordings. The journalists are confined to Gorgon for the duration of the project. It could be years. Make sure they understand that. If they leak the details of our work to the press, I will put a hit out on them myself. I know people, Lawrence. The journalists bunk in shipping and receiving. We can't have them fraternizing with the project staff outside of their scheduled interviews. These people are our enemies, not our friends. No one will be coming down with an acute case of friendship on my watch. My team will not be held responsible for the inevitable delays this tomfoolery will cause. The only individual who will be working overtime on this is you. Understood? Interesting. Okay, so we know now that mostly... So, was Goodfellow... No, Lawrence Goodfellow. Right, yeah, Lawrence. So Lucian is someone else. Unlock elevator. Ooh, exit.
I knew I heard a little weasel sniffing about. You'd best go back the way you came. There's nothing for you here.
Huh. Who the hell are you?
The ghost of Gorgon. Or its warden. This place is a graveyard. All that was done here should be forgotten and left to rot.
If you're hiding something, I'll find out. Did you just lock me out of the SMC? Unless it's good salvage, then it's coming with me. I don't care about your musty old secrets. You're hiding something? I'll find it out. Let's be neutral. We don't have to antagonize them yet. Did you just lock me out of the SMC?
I did. And I am prepared to do worse if you ignore my warning. Gorgon is the birthplace of marauders. We created them here, in this very facility. They are our misbegotten children, born of hubris and vanity.
I don't understand. They made marauders here? How?
But marauders are just mindless lunatics, right? There can't be more to it than that.
They hold no fondness for trespassers. I've placed the facility under emergency lockdown to keep them safe. Let the marauders die in peace, or I will make certain that you die with them.
Alright. So of course the question is, this is an invisible face with a changed voice. So the obvious thought would be that maybe this is Olivia Ambrose. But it could be Lucian, it could be... Well, Lawrence Goodfellow is kind of unlikely. I don't think he cares enough about people. And Mr. Mostly, similarly, I think they're both... Like, everyone in this marketing department kind of seems to be... not really looking forward to... or not really looking out for people. Is Toxie free like oxen free? Sure, yeah. Ollie Toxie free. Have you never heard the song? Should be Tolly Toxin free. Damn it. What do they mean? How do you create marauders?
Back on the Groundbreaker, I heard stories. People talked about marauders roaming every corner of Halcyon. Anywhere you found people, you'd find marauders too.
I always figured they were townies who spent too long on the factory line. Guess there's more to it.
Whatever secrets are buried here, we'll root them out. Doesn't change what we're here to do. We need that journal. Why can't anything be simple and straightforward for once? I mean, I of course want to know the secret. On the other hand, we're not really selfless, but of course, if they make marauders, so I guess that means Adrena time probably causes marauders if you use it long enough. I guess I'll go with that. Might not be straightforward roleplay, but whatever secrets are buried here, we'll root them out. Woo! We leveled up. Getting some more skill points, and I think I wanna spec more into hacking, because I kept seeing... Oh, the pressurized injection suit costs us hacking skill. Okay. Apply. All right. Messages. Hack 95. So now let's change the suit. Do we have anything? Dialogue skills? Dialogue skills. We have anything? Handguns, perception, damage, block, sneak, lie. It's kind of nice that the lie skill is improved by the Moonman helmet. Leadership skills and persuade, inspiration, long guns, intimidate. Sneak, determination, okay. Well, I guess we'll keep this one for persuade, you can't see it anyway. Now let's see if we have enough. No, it still needs 95, okay. So how much do we have now? Where are my skill? Oh, character skills. Yeah, okay, we have 80 and we need 15 more. Alright, but we know now a lot, I guess. I guess we need to find the comms tower. It's the first upside down mag pick I saw, I think. It was kind of like, what is this? It kind of looks like a mag pick. Oh, this is nice. Auditing room observation deck, or what? Okay, we came in here, so I guess... You're not angry at us, good.
Processing date performing
They're on
and
us.
Oh, no, okay, you don't like us.
One down. Clean this up, right?
Did they undo our hack? Ah, okay. Let's go. Wait, let's first see where on the map. It's nice how the plants are actually overgrowing their pots. It's good thinking. Okay, here we are. Oh, so that's actually... Oh, that leads to the elevator. Where does that lead us? We don't know. Let's try that then. Ah, that was the barred door downstairs. Okay. So that's the quick way out. The comms tower terminal is actually upstairs. I like this trick that they make, forcing you to look this way so they can spawn the companions behind you. Ah, there was another door. Oh, and I think that was more ammo. And another terminal. Welcome H. Harold, secretary. Okay, that's the Harold guy that he mentioned in his fake auto response. Memo 0312. Herbie, take a memo. Actually, hang on, let me get a cigarette. Alright, take a memo. I want to personally walk down to HIA and wrap my hands around the necks of every single law-forsaken excuse for a researcher whose indentured contracts we were stupid enough to sign. Who signed those anyway? Were they drunk at the time? Why are we hiring researchers who can't deliver the test results we want? Am I crazy? Is this an unreasonable expectation? Is supply and demand a foreign concept to these people? When I request a zero-G brew, I expect a moderately cold glass of something reasonably alcoholic in my hand, slapped with the Space's Choice brand. When I request test results, I expect to see scientifically proven, medically verified evidence that adrenotime is a miracle drug. I didn't ask for a long list of dangerous side effects, I asked for adjectives. I can't turn high rate of violent confusion into marketing copy, Herbie. What in law's name am I supposed to do with side effects include paranoia and suicide? HIA just screwed us with our pants on. The cerebral committee is losing their collective mind. Now I need to go pat them all on the shoulder and wipe away their sad little tears and tell them everything's gonna be alright. Why are you still typing? Don't put that down, I was just rambling. 3:30 and Herbie, take a memo. I'm getting real sick of Clarence Mostly. Oh, so Clarence is his name. Should remember that. Remind me again why we brought him on this project. He's not part of the Space's Choice family. He's never been a part of the Space's Choice family. The Mostleys? What do they do again? Oh yeah, they peddle furniture. I'm a manager at Halcyon's most recognizable brand name in affordable goods and services. I don't need management advice from some guy whose family designed my footstools. Actuaries should stick to actuarial work. Don't go advising me to turn the screw on Jasper Lowe and those lab coats at Chem. I know what I'm doing. Hang on, I need a cigarette. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, take a memo. We need to turn the screw on Jasper Lowe and those lab coats at Chem. I want you to draft up an official order. Tell Chem... Hang on, let me think. Yeah. Tell Chem they need to fire 1 in 10 researchers, and that we're slashing their deadlines in half. It's a Roman solution. We could learn a lot from them, the Romans. They pretty much invented discipline. So let's hack that one. 3:14. For inaudible sake! All our quarterly reports, all of them, gone. Hard copies, terminal data, it's all gone. What kind of a sick, degenerate mind destroys quarterly reports? We've got a surprise audit scheduled. You schedule a surprise audit. That's a corporate world. We've got a surprise audit scheduled. What am I supposed to show the auditors? I need to send a message down to the receptionist. No auditors allowed, and I need to talk to committee immediately. Why are you typing, Herbie? I didn't ask you to take a fucking memo. Delete this. Hey, are you listening? Alright, so I guess we are benefiting from Herbie's unreflected did I completely overlook that door, or was it locked? And where is... oh, up there. Okay, so that's why the stairs led up one more floor. OCI upper exterior. Will the depravity never cease? Monarch Stellar Industries reveal their true colors. MSI joins forces with iconoclast radicals. Support your local businesses. 100% of the fuel used on the Eridanus docks is produced right here on Eridanus.
If somebody's trying to stop you, that just means you're on the right track. Didn't we see a big communication tower on the way over here?
I'm hoping this leads us to someone we can talk with face to face. Or punch, if it comes to that.
Right, this is not where we came in. Okay, this is where we came in. And this... okay. Vague idea. Is this where we shot all the marauders?
Keep this up and I won't have any new battle scars.
This is nice. They're so far apart from each other that they don't notice when we shoot them.
Here they come!
Unless, I guess, we shoot someone that is in front of the sentinel. Oh. Barton, thanks for subbing in for Lenader. Priantha scored one hell of a body goal on us last week, and in the process tore our goalie a new Wednesday zone. Lenader's fault. Hullhead thinks he's Bertie Holcomb himself. Seeing as you just finished the night shift, Frida is letting us swing by her place to get some Adrena time from her stash, so you don't nod off mid-period. And to give you a little edge on Doc Priantha, if you catch my meaning. Trust me, you'll be glad for it. Back in 20, Tillman. Okay, so I guess this is where the tossball team practiced. Come on, you shits, get it together. Interesting. Like, I guess... I don't know who they were playing against. Oh, that's the Chem team and the OCI team. Right. So that's not the official team, it's just them playing sports against each other. It's kind of so instinctive to grab Adreno to be able to heal yourself if a fight goes wrong. These plants are really pretty. Freaky, but pretty. But now there's Adreno and Adrena time, and suddenly I have to watch out. One is the drugs. The drugs. Okay. I don't think the sprats are attacking me, so that's good. Huh, that was weird. Got kind of caught on something on the floor there. Diane shoots final report. To the co-worker who finds this, given you're reading this, I'm likely dead. I'm very sorry about that. I'm also sorry Space's Choice had to send someone else to finish my assignment. As of the moment I'm writing this, Charles Novak still possesses the express mail delivery prototype. I believe he's gone entirely mad, as he has abandoned his apartment and taken up with a group of marauders not far from here. Oh, is that Charles Novak? Wasn't there Charles from accounting earlier that we were warned of? So I guess the express mail delivery prototype is his, what was it, like rocket launcher or something? Charles no longer recognizes me. He can't even recognize the Space's Choice jingle. When I sang it for him to try to coax him into a calmer state, he shot me in the arm. If you're here to retrieve the prototype, here's what you should know. The prototype remains intact. The prototype has been modified to simultaneously fire multiple projectiles, and the original package housing chamber appears to have been replaced with an explosive payload. Please know that I did not sanction these modifications, nor do I approve of setting fire to company correspondence. Charles' depravity knows no bounds. Okay. The original prototype was only intended to deliver packages more quickly, nothing more, and I'd sooner die than see it used for violence. To that end, I'm going to try to recover the prototype from Charles. Should I fail, please remember me fondly despite my incompetence. Faithfully, Diane Shoot. I mean, she's, you know, she's very conscientious about her work. But really, it's not really... That company doesn't deserve employees that dedicated. Well, technically, you know, employees dedicated enough to get themselves killed, you know, no company deserves that. There's a lot of ammo around here. Oh, weapon parts. Lots of people here have Adrena time. All these bypass shunts, but we really never have enough hacking to actually use them, I think. Pick up Oxycomp Aromatic. It's a foot and an arm. The foot is just standing there. Isn't that one of the characteristics of spontaneous human combustion? That the hands and the legs stay around, basically? Does this flag mean you're close to overloaded? Or what does that flag in the upper left mean? I don't know. Don't mind me, sprats, I'm just collecting random stuff. You know what would be a mean trick that this game could play on you? Would be if they had two types of Adrena time, you know, safe kind and from the base game and an unsafe kind that you find here. And so whenever you pick up Adrena time here, you actually get some of the bad stuff, assuming there is a good version. And you know, and then you never know when you take some whether it's the good stuff or the bad stuff. And worse, if you sell it to someone, you don't know, you know, if it's maybe going to be sold around again and you get it back. So you're just basically introducing random dangerous Adrena time into the circulation. And until you've used up all of it, you have a problem, you know. Every time someone sounds responsible and says, "Don't look for me, I'll be dead," makes me think they are hiding. Yeah. That might... I mean, that would be the smart thing to do. Oh, we're here now. Wait. No, wait, this is not where I thought we are. This is just... We're just looking downstairs to where we came in. Okay. I thought we were back at the start, had looped around once. But that's up here. Yeah. Sprat Shack. So I was thinking we were looking down on this and maybe had ended up, I don't know, here? Alright, let's try to find ourselves a comms tower then. Oh, what's this?
I just don't get how you can be so casual about your integrity, Ellie. Way I see it, you're either standing up to the board, or you're standing up for him.
I know nuance ain't exactly your strong suit, but it's not that simple. Grow a few hairs on your chest and you'll see.
I might not have your schooling, but at least I stand for something.
And you'll fall for anything. That's how the saying goes.
Secret hideout. Let's save here because I'm not sure we're actually supposed to do anything here. Archibald Excelsior's Secret Society of Super Science Sidekicks. Halt! The passage is exclusive to members of the Secret Society of Super Science Sidekicks. To gain access to this sacred sanctum, you must prove you are a true and worthy fan of the inimitable, inestimable, incomparable ace exterminator Archibald Excelsior. Interested? Find us at the following locations and demonstrate your worth. By the marvelous mustache of Excelsior. Oh my god, we had that in the other office, didn't we? Morris Walton, SMC Observatory, Virgil Sharp, Gorgon Mines, Birdie Sharp, HIA Maintenance Entry, Eustace Kim, Waste Processing Ravine. Okay, I guess we found a few clues already. Thank you for using this. To those who come after. From Walton M. Gorgon's gone to hell and we don't expect it to come back, so the Secret Society of Super Science Sidekicks are shipping out while there's still ships to catch, and we're leaving our replica PET behind. I can't say it's what we wanted, not after all the shit we churned through to make it, but it's what our fearless leader, the inimitable Archibald Excelsior, would have asked of us. Now, if you're reading this, that means you're a scavenger. Scavenging takes daring, gumption, and a dash of rank, reckless stupidity. Just the kind of qualities Archibald's been known to prize, and just the kind of person worthy of our PET. The best and only prototype pest extermination truncheon in all of Halcyon. If you want it, friend, it's yours. All you gotta do is pass our test and prove yourself a true fan of Archibald Excelsior, Ace Exterminator. Law speed and good luck. By the marvelous mustache of Excelsior. Alright, so I guess we gotta find stuff. That's fun. It's kind of like, what was it called? The Silver Phantom or something in Fallout? It's kind of a similar story. Alright, I guess we'll just keep going here. Oh. It's actually, it's time for a break. This is barred. So I guess, ooh, oh, okay. I know where we are. Llama? Focused on a spread. Shouldn't there be 3 guys? Like the lady, the... Ah, here, the captain, yeah. And Rex. Okay, anyway. So, this is where we take our government-mandated... Should I say corporate-mandated 5-minute break. And then I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Have some clips in the meantime. Don't forget, you know, drink something, stretch, get up. That's what I plan to do now. Maybe have a little bite to eat. See you in a moment.